Okay, step into the frame. Day 3 of working up the courage to, I'm gonna run with it. Yeah, day 3 of working up my camera presence. What are we talking about today? We are talking about relationships and friendships. Um, Beginning with this one over here. Hello, jump. This one's my baby. Her name's Shabby. Look at her. Say hi to the camera. Right, you may go play now. Oh, she loves me. Someone does. So I've been thinking about relationships recently, and I think I'm coming up to the. Let me guess. Let me count. 5 months. The 5 month mark of when I since ended. Well, not ended. Um, I guess demoted is probably the more correct term. Um, so I demoted my best friend from best friend status to non best friend status. He's my, I'm not even sure what to like consider him now, but we no longer talk to each other, at least for the time being. And I think this was the right decision, um, because it's given me time to reflect and think about the relationship and process some emotions that wouldn't have been fully processed if I had like interrupted it by seeing him within like those um, cleansing, purifying 5 months. Um, so when we're talking about my best friend, I guess I shouldn't really name him, or maybe I should. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna decide not to. He was my best friend, and on September thereabouts, we we kind of had like a heart to heart, a one-on-one meeting in like our favorite cafe. I wrote about it actually. It's on my Substack. Long story short, I just basically was like, yeah, we need to like go our separate ways for a little bit because um, things have been building up, resentments, and I just decided like we probably need to. And this is mainly more for me, but I'm glad he agreed on this as well because he was sensing like tensions building up. Um, Long story short, I broke up with my best friend. Um, anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is ever since that day, I haven't been able to have sex. And this is the crazy thing because we weren't sexual in any way. We were like, he was like my best friend. And I would go so far as to say that maybe I felt such strong feelings for him, akin to viewing him as like a limerent object. So I might have like developed strong limerent feelings to this man, um, but not sexual feelings. And and the weird thing is, despite it not being sexual in itself, it colored the way I was able to have relationships with other people. And one of the key differences between me having him in my life now versus me not having him in my life now versus when I had him before is I was more given and safe. I felt really safe in myself to be able to like engage in uh, sexual behavior, like sexual relationships with other people, and like casual flings, and just I had an emotional robustness that came from being in a domestic relationship with my best friend because we weren't just best friends, we were also like housemates, and we lived together, we ate together, we cooked together, we did all of the domestic partner stuff together for the longest time, and we even couldn't go to bed without first like hugging and doing very um, very coupley things, like asking each other if uh, we felt. I would ask him, "Do you feel? Do you feel sufficiently cared for and respected, etc., etc.? And now we no longer do that. I think, well, part of the reason why we stopped doing that was because he got into a relationship with a girl, and that brought up some feelings of jealousy. Wow, this is getting deep rooted, and that kind of like instigated a new feeling in me because I'd never actually felt jealousy before. I've never felt jealousy, sexual possessiveness, or any of my sexual partners. But with him, my God, this is like I was raging with jealousy. I was so possessive and I guess maybe even rivalrous towards her and possessive over him. It felt like I was playing a zero sum game in which she was taking, by her, I mean, by she, I mean like his girlfriend. Um, and it was emotionally challenging in ways I had never before experienced. And now that I no longer have this person in my life, this, I guess, limerent object, I experience withdrawal symptoms as strong as, like, I guess, drug withdrawal. He really was like a addictive substance to me, and now that I've been away for him, like I guess doing a purge away from him for like 5 months. This is the first time I've been away from him for this long, like no contact ever since I met him 4 years ago. Wow, 4 years of like literal mind mending magic. I'm finally able to like see things outside of his gravitational reality distortion field, which is not a bad field. Just it was a field that made me unable to view things independent from his perspective. Um, and one of the ways that was really important was the way he viewed me as like a wonderful person, best friend, but not as someone who is like boyfriend material. Gosh, this is gonna get really deep. I hope no one finds this. I think I might have like loved him, like romantically speaking. I'll be honest. I do think that might have been a possibility. And I think holding out on that possibility made all the sexual relationships I had with anyone else bearable because because it felt like I could always come back home to him. He was always there for me, waiting. And that all fundamentally changed when she came into the picture. And I've been trying not to like feel these feelings too much because it's a bit ego challenging. It challenges my sense of identity to think that I might have, like, on the surface, one type of relationship with Donovan, blurred out his name. Um, but underneath that, I might have been having like an subconscious, you know, harboring subconscious romantic feelings towards him that I didn't want to admit to my conscious self. And yeah, that sucks. Which is why I think it was so easy for me to go around and have sex with a whore, because I knew that back home there was this pseudo boyfriend waiting for me. Um, and we obviously would never call it that, not consciously. And I strove very hard to make sure that we weren't boyfriend and boyfriend. Although the times that we were mistaken to be a couple, my heart fluttered and I was elated. It was wonderful. I wanted to brag about it to everyone else. But that's a joke. We were a joke boyfriend. We were a joke husband. But maybe it wasn't a joke. Maybe I actually did want it to be a real thing. And now that that's no longer the case, I'm really left bereft out of anyone who can fulfill that boyfriend role for me. And that means I no longer feel sexually secure in the same way that I did before. Maybe sexually secure is not the right term, but maybe like romantically secure, right? Romantically insecure, which makes me very wary of any kind of sexual relationship sans romance. Whereas before I could just have the sex and not worry about the romance part because the romance part was being supplied by my limerent object best friend. But now that I no longer have that, any potential sexual partner feels like a potential romantic partner as well. And that scares me because I don't know how to have a romantic relationship with someone who I'm sexually interested in as well because I don't know how to feel romantically secure with casual sex. Um and it's making like all the other relationships that I used to have with people, all the other like pre-existing sexual relationships that I forged while I was still with Donovan, look a little bit shaky, um, in the sense that in the sense that I don't know what to expect from them. I have like petty feelings that I would take to Donovan before, and he would be able to handle it like a boyfriend would. Um, but now that I no longer have him, who's gonna like handle me emotionally? The people that I'm like currently seeing, gosh, being polyamorous is so difficult. I fucking hate it. That does not mean anything if you are one of those polyamorous people that I'm seeing. But it's difficult. It's so difficult to be like seeing different people sexually, romantically, intimately, etc. And then having to deal with the emotions and the security and insecurity that comes with it. I don't know how much commitment I should expect or demand from these relationships. I don't even know half of the time what type of relationship I have with these people. Can I share the bed with them? Can I hold hands with them in public? Can I come to them to like moan and bitch about like the pettiest of petty, like how petty can I be with them? With Donovan I could be very petty and trust that he would just like be there as this magnanimous boyfriend figure to assuage my small feelings. And I don't have that anymore. And I don't know if I can expect that from anyone else without also like presupposing or like being super presumptuous about like the status of my relationship. It's, I haven't really figured this out. Gosh, I thought I'd like have my thoughts more put together. Emotions are hard, especially the ones with relationships. But I promised myself that I would put this up and I'm not going to edit this. I hope no one finds it. I hope no one finds it. But I'm putting it up anyway. Cool. Episode 3. Let's go, bitches. Ah.